Hey, Lars, we've talked about Andrew Peak this season several times, but I guess when I look at his season as a whole, he's overcome a lot of adversity, it seems like, or maybe challenges would be a better way to put it. Are you impressed with the way he just kind of keeps rolling through maybe some growing pains, I guess you'd say, and showing growth?
Yeah, honestly, I don't look at it as a bunch of adversity. I look at it as the growth of a young defenseman in the NHL. It's a hard position, really hard. So, to get your traction, get your feet, be consistent. The problem with defense, when you make a mistake, it's glaring, and it usually ends up in a grade A chance or in your net. So, there's forwards that make plenty of mistakes as a winger, but you have layers behind you as a D. It's not like that. So I just think it's just he's taken a step. There's no question. From where he started at the beginning of the year. He's up. It's all his foundation, his work, his competitiveness, simplicity of his game. It's nothing. There's no wow factor to it, and I think that's what he's grasped and understood is how he needs to stay in the lineup, how he can be relevant, and that's moved him up the lineup. And so when he was, even playing with Z there, it's because he was being more dependable. He's trustworthy, and he's just playing a simple game, and that's what we need from him.
He's still obviously a young defenseman, like you just said. So in the greater scheme of what you guys are trying to do here, how big can that be if he were to able to kind of keep that position he's got now? He's also flexible. He's played on all three pairings.
Yeah, just continue to grow. I don't think you stop now and pat yourself on the back and take a breath. I think that's probably the worst thing you could do as a player. We're a little over half here, so there's a lot of hockey left to keep growing and kind of show what you can do here for the remainder of the season.
Recently, it seems like Jack Roslovic has kind of picked his game up a little bit. I think you mentioned that the other night when you flip-flopped him and Sillinger last week. What is it? What was it about his game, I guess, that kind of jumped out that you'd have thought that made you start thinking, maybe I move him up a little bit?
Well, we've had really good conversations about just what it was going to take to get more ice time, and it's about building trust, and it's not for one game. It's going to take several games, and for me, he did that. He put 3 or 4 games in. He wasn't getting any more ice time, but there's some areas that we're concentrating on, and I thought he did a good job of that, and he earned the right to move up the lineup. I thought he had a good game last night, or the other night against Pittsburgh. He moved up and played more minutes. We've added him to the penalty kill. I thought he's done a great job there. And, it's unfortunate Sid gets inside of him there on the last goal, but, he's playing better. He's being more, he's conscious of what we're trying to talk about here and apply that to his game. So for that, he's earned it. And, you get more ice time, you feel better, you get more opportunity. And that's what he's taking advantage of that now.
Bemstrom goes in the other night, nearly gets a goal. Imagine a guy you just want to see play some hockey here, and he have a chance to get out here and maybe just show what he can do, since he's had so many things kind of come up this season as it's gone by.
Yeah, he's a guy who just can't get traction, right? He's, he had a decent camp, and then, he was out for a couple months, comes back, kind of gets some traction, then he's out with COVID, and we're winning, so I'm not changing my lineup. So he's got to play, and we got some guys that are playing hard and playing up in positions right now, so he's gonna have to earn it too. And so he almost gets one there the other night. Would have been nice, but hopefully for him, he can string some games together here.
He didn't get a ton of ice time, but he ended up, I think, with 2 or 3 shots on goal. I mean, did you see him in the limited action kind of doing some positive things there?
Yeah, I thought his energy was good. It was more matchup based what was happening there. They weren't using much of that Boyle line, so I liked how the other 3 lines were playing. I thought they were playing well. So sometimes you're just a victim of the circumstance, and that's kind of where they're at. It wasn't due to poor play. It's just what I was doing for matchups.
Any lineup changes / goalie changes tonight?
Boquist is out, and we'll have Christensen will be in. Everything else the same.
Looked like Danforth and Brendan Gaunce generated a pretty good deal the other night against Pittsburgh. You like the chemistry that's seemingly developing between those two, or maybe that they've already had, having been in Cleveland together?
Well, I think they've brought an element to our team that we've needed. Danny was playing really well, and he got hurt. So he kind of shown me what he could do. The thing about Danny, what I love, is he's had to change his game from coming over from Europe there, and where he was a point guy. He been an offensive guy, but to his credit, he was very disappointed to get sent down. But he'd always been center. Told him he needed to try playing on the wing. He did that down there. He brought great energy. Started bringing physical play, and again, it's building trust. And that's what I told him. I said, if I can trust you, I can play you. And those two have done a real good job, I think, of bringing an element together, whoever they've played with. So, yeah, it's been nice to see. I think Gonser, not knowing much about him, he's got size, he moves well, he's added a physical element to our lineup, which we need, and you know he was off producing too. So, yeah, those guys doing a great job for us.
Guess I have to ask, Boquist, do you know if it's short or long term, or is it just?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Right now, day to day, we'll see. Upper.
Getting back to Danforth really quick, you know, he did change his game, obviously. When a guy does that, I mean, that means that elsewhere he was more of an offensive guy, you know, had some skills. Those skills don't necessarily have to go away, right, when you change your game, or do they?
No, you add to your game. That's all it is. You don't rely on it. That's all I'm asking him to do. And, you know, there's an assistant coach I had, Brad McCrimmon, who passed away in that plane crash in Russia years ago. I had him in Atlanta, and he was always big on you add into your toolbox as a player, always. You know, don't get complacent. You know, if you're a winger, start taking draws. If you're not a physical guy, start getting more physical. And that's all I'm asking. I don't want his skill to go away. That'd be really, let's just say, not smart on my part. I think there's guys that are ahead of you, so how do you get yourself into the lineup? How do you get seen every day? So you really just add to your repertoire what you have, and now he's done that. He's earned my trust in a lot of areas. You know, he was asking me about generating last game. I didn't put him on the ice to generate last game. They were playing against Malkin's line with Curls and Gonser, so they had a role. And I thought they did a really good job. I mean, that's one of the premier centermen in the league, and he's won 2 or 3 Stanley Cups. So they knew what the mandate was and what we were trying to get out of that matchup, and I thought they brought it both ends. And that's the key, is just being responsible, build trust, and then a lot of your other game, once you get out there and get ice time, you're going to get opportunity, and he's taking advantage of that.
Are you starting to see some of the skill come out as well?
Sure, yeah. I think he's using it smartly. I think he's not... Yeah, there's guys that try to overcook it at the blue line and create turnovers, which is not what you want to do. I think, prime example, it's a 2-on-2, he chips it in, he goes down, makes a great play, a little reverse, and Gauntz wraps it for almost scores. And those are the things where, when your skill allows it to take over, do it. Just be smart about it, especially playing against a guy like Malkin or some of these tough matchups. You got to be smart where you're going to use it.
Last one I have for you is you can't ignore, I guess, what's going on outside the walls here in the world with Russia and Ukraine, and you have 2 Russian players on the team. Have you checked in with them as far as, I mean, they may have people that they know, you know, back home or in the Army or anything like that. Have you checked in with them about, you know, how they're doing with?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, there's the human element of this that everybody seems to forget, and you know, and I don't mean that to be rude, but they see the jersey and that's it. And these guys are human beings first. This circumstance is awful. I mean, we're all on the same page. We want peace here, and it's hard to see these videos and what's going on over there. So, yeah, I've checked in and we've had many conversations.